Just 1 hour from Mexico City, in the heart of the state of Mexico, lies a city called Toluca, a city of nearly 1 million people, a city with colonial churches, busy markets, and ordinary neighborhoods where families live ordinary lives. But in 2019, something happened in one of those ordinary neighborhoods that would shake the entire country, something that would make international headlines, something that, even today, is difficult to understand. Inside a small apartment in the Villa Santin neighborhood, authorities discovered the remains of multiple young women, women who had simply disappeared, women whose families had been searching for them, women whose names deserved to be remembered. But what made this case truly unlike any other in Mexican criminal history was not just the horror of what happened inside that apartment. It was what the killer did after. While police searched for him, while the entire country demanded answers, he went on Facebook, and he laughed. This is the story of Óscar García Guzmán, the monster of Toluca. To understand this case, you first need to understand something about Mexico. Every single day, an average of 10 women are murdered in this country. 10. Every day. Mexico has one of the highest femicide rates in the entire world, and for decades, the response from authorities has been, in too many cases, silence, negligence, and impunity. Families report missing women. Police tell them to wait. By the time anyone investigates seriously, it's often too late. This reality is not a secret. It is something millions of Mexican families live with every single day. It is within this context that the story of Óscar García Guzmán must be understood. Because his case is not just about one man's evil. It is about a system that failed repeatedly, a system that had chances to stop him and didn't. Villa Santin is a residential neighborhood in the city of Toluca, in the state of Mexico. It looks like thousands of other Mexican neighborhoods, apartment buildings, small shops, families going about their lives. Nobody would have looked twice at the young man who lived in one of those apartments. Nobody suspected anything until the smell started. It was late October 2019. Neighbors in the Villa Santin complex began noticing an odor coming from one of the apartments, an odor that grew stronger over the days, an odor that, once you know what it means, you never forget. When authorities finally forced their way inside, what they found was beyond what even experienced investigators were prepared for. The remains of 3 young women hidden within the apartment of a 28-year-old man. 3 women, 1 apartment, 1 killer. Among the victims was a young psychology student, a young woman with a future, with dreams, with a family that loved her. Her parents had actually reported her missing to the authorities just days before the discovery. They had something even more specific, the location of her phone. They went to the prosecutor's office. They gave investigators the address. Investigators went to the apartment. They spoke directly to Óscar García Guzmán. He told them he had never seen the young woman. He was calm, cooperative, convincing, and they left. They left her there. Hours later, with a formal search warrant, authorities returned. And this time, they found what they should have found the first time. Her body was inside the apartment. She had already been killed. The system had a chance to save her life, and it failed. The other 2 victims found in that apartment were also identified in the days that followed. Young women, lives cut short, families destroyed. The investigation that began in those hours would eventually reveal a pattern of violence stretching back more than a decade. So who was this man? Who was Óscar García Guzmán, the person who had come to be known across Mexico as the Monster of Toluca? He was born and raised in the state of Mexico. By all outward appearances, an unremarkable young man. No prominent criminal record that neighbors or acquaintances would have known about. Nothing that would have made someone point at him and say, "That man is dangerous." But investigators would eventually piece together a timeline of violence that began shockingly early. According to evidence that emerged after his arrest, Óscar García Guzmán committed his first murder in 2006. He was 16 years old. His first victim was his own father. This detail only became known after his arrest, through a phone call he made to his mother from custody. In that call, recorded by authorities, Óscar calmly told his mother, "I killed Dad." No emotion, no remorse, just a statement of fact. That crime was never officially prosecuted, and so Óscar García Guzmán moved through the world as a free man. 6 years passed. 6 years in which, apparently, he lived what appeared to be a normal life. And then, in 2012, he killed again. His victim was a woman named Mónica Chávez Cuate. What she endured in her final days is difficult to describe. After prolonged suffering, her body was abandoned in the municipality of Huixquilucan, where it was eventually discovered by authorities. And then he waited again. Months passed. Years passed. He killed again and again, each time choosing women, each time with the same cold calculation, each time apparently confident that he would never be caught. By the time authorities broke down the door of his Villa Santín apartment in October 2019, Óscar García Guzmán had been killing for over 13 years. He had started as a teenager and had never stopped. And in all that time, the system had never connected the dots. When the discovery in Villa Santín became public, the reaction across Mexico was immediate and intense. News channels covered the story around the clock, social media exploded with outrage, and authorities issued a formal search for the man responsible. The state prosecutor's office offered a reward of 300,000 Mexican pesos for information leading to his capture. In US dollars, that's roughly $15,000, a significant sum. And yet, it wasn't the money that would ultimately bring him down. Because while police searched for him, while his face appeared on news broadcasts, while his name spread across every corner of Mexican social media, Óscar García Guzmán was posting on Facebook. Not hiding, not running, posting on Facebook. He mocked the police publicly. He taunted activists who were calling for his capture. He made references to his crimes with what could only be described as pride. In posts and comments, he demonstrated zero fear of being caught, zero remorse for what he had done, zero understanding or perhaps zero care about the consequences. Criminologists and psychologists who later analyzed his behavior pointed to a classic pattern. A killer so convinced of his own superiority that he believed he was untouchable, that the rules that applied to everyone else simply did not apply to him. Meanwhile, he moved through Mexico City, staying off the radar of authorities while simultaneously maintaining an active online presence. The contradiction is staggering. Here was a man wanted for multiple murders with a substantial reward on his head, and he was arguing with people on Facebook. This behavior attracted the attention of someone who would prove crucial to the case, an activist, a woman who had dedicated years of her life to documenting femicides in Mexico, a woman who was not afraid of Óscar García Guzmán, and who saw in his arrogance an opportunity. Her name is Frida Guerrera. In Mexico, she is known as one of the most prominent voices against femicide and gender violence. She has documented hundreds of cases. She has sat with families who have lost daughters, sisters, mothers. She understands, better than most, what is at stake when killers go free. When Frida saw Óscar García Guzmán's activity on social media, his boasting, his challenges, his apparent belief that he was invincible, she made a decision. She would contact him directly. She would keep him talking, and she would work with authorities to trace his location. For 2 weeks, she kept him talking. For approximately 2 weeks, Frida Guerrera engaged Óscar García Guzmán in conversations. He insulted her. He bragged about his crimes. He describes details of what he had done with what she later described as a disturbing sense of pride. And through it all, She kept him engaged. She kept him responding. She kept the conversation alive. While those conversations happened, authorities were working in parallel. Every message he sent, every time he connected to send a response, gave investigators more information about his location. The digital trail that his own arrogance was creating was being carefully analyzed. His words were his trap, and he walked right into it. By early December 2019, authorities had narrowed down his location to the Casco de Santo Tomás neighborhood in Mexico City, near the Avenida de los Maestros, a densely populated urban area, the kind of place where a person could try to disappear into the crowd. On December 6, 2019, a joint operation involving multiple units of the State of Mexico Prosecutor's Office moved into position. They had his location. They moved quickly. December 6, 2019, the Monstruo of Toluca was about to run out of time. Óscar García Guzmán was arrested on Avenida de los Maestros without significant resistance. The man who had spent weeks taunting police on social media, the man who had positioned himself as untouchable, was taken into custody. It was over. What followed was a legal process that would stretch over several years. Case by case, victim by victim, the full scope of Óscar García Guzmán's crimes was brought before the courts. And with each trial, the sentences accumulated. His first major conviction came for the femicide of the psychology student found in his apartment, 62 years and 6 months in prison. Then came the conviction for the murder of a man in Xonacatlan in 2012, another 62 years and 6 months. Additional sentences followed for rape, for the forced disappearance of another victim, for more femicides as investigators continued building cases. 12 years here, 17 years there. 62 years, 62 years again. The numbers kept growing. The total? More than 335 years in prison. Óscar García Guzmán is currently held at the Centro Penitenciario y Reinserción Social de Tenango del Valle in the state of Mexico, the same state where most of his crimes were committed. He will never be a free man again. More trials were still pending as of the most recent reports, meaning the total sentence could continue to grow. Not that it matters, practically speaking. 335 years is already a life sentence many times over. In cases like this, it is easy to become focused on the killer, on his psychology, on his methods, on the story of his capture. But before we go any further, it's important to stop and remember what this case is actually about. It's about the women he took from this world. Mónica Chávez Cuate, murdered in 2012, her body abandoned in Huixquilucan. She deserved a full life. The 3 women found in the Villa Santín apartment in 2019, including the psychology student whose parents had gone to authorities just days before her body was found. They deserved to be saved. And the other victims, some still being identified, some still being processed through the legal system, each of them was a person, a daughter, a sister, a friend, a woman with a story that deserves to be lived, not cut short by one man's violence. Their names matter more than his. The case of Óscar García Guzmán raises questions that Mexico and the world still hasn't fully answered. How does someone kill for 13 years without being stopped? How does a system fail so completely, so repeatedly? The answer, unfortunately, is not complicated. In Mexico, the combination of institutional neglect, underfunded investigative units, and a culture that has historically minimized violence against women created the conditions in which someone like Óscar García Guzmán could operate for over a decade. He wasn't invisible. The system chose not to see. And yet, the case also offers something else, a reminder of what citizen action can accomplish. Frida Guerrera, a single activist with a phone and extraordinary courage, accomplished what an entire law enforcement apparatus had struggled to do. She kept a killer talking long enough to be found. That doesn't mean the burden of catching killers should fall on activists. It shouldn't. That responsibility belongs to the state. But it shows that even in the most broken systems, individuals can make a difference. Toluca is still there. The Villa Santín neighborhood is still there. Life went on, as it always does. But the families of the victims carry what happened with them every day. And in Mexico, thousands of other families are living through similar stories right now, waiting for answers, waiting for justice, waiting for someone to care. 10 women are murdered in Mexico every day. Every single day. The Monstruo of Toluca is behind bars. For now, for him, justice was served. But the conditions that allowed him to exist, that allowed him to kill for 13 years, those conditions haven't disappeared. And until they do, there will be more stories like this one. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for listening. These stories are difficult. They're supposed to be, because behind every case like this one, there are real people whose lives were taken, and real families who are still waiting for the world to pay attention. If you want to hear more stories like this, real cases, real crimes, from Mexico and across Latin America, told in full, subscribe to this channel. Every week, we go deep into a case that the world hasn't heard enough about. Had you heard of this case before today? Leave a comment below. I'll see you in the next one.